Welcome back, everybody, as we continue here on Sports Talk on a Twitter Tuesday. Well, folks, we've got a very exciting guest lined up for us right now on our Village Inn hotline. He is Mike Tirico from NBC Sports, a man that has pretty much done it all over the last 25 years. You know, Mike, when you look back at things and you realize, I guess it was 91 when you first came on ESPN from Syracuse and working at the TV station in Syracuse there where you were sports director. Has it been a pretty fast-moving 25 years for you in sports broadcasting?
It feels like it, although when you then have teenage kids afterwards, you realize you've been doing this for a while. But no, it feels like it's gone very fast. It's been so many great events to cover and people to work with here over the years. I will tell you, Steve, one thing that makes you realize how long you've been doing it is when you start covering sons of players who you covered back in the day. You go, whoa, wait a minute. This is his kid? It can't be. But it's a lot of fun. I love doing it. There's nothing like being around sports, and it's been a joy for me to do it. All those years at ESPN were great, and the time now at NBC is excellent as well. I
think the thing I love about you is your versatility. I mean, you've covered so many different sports. Right now, you're obviously entrenched in the NFL. You've got Breeders' Cup coverage coming up soon on NBC. Do you have a personal favorite of something that you enjoy more than others, or do you just like to cover everything?
Truth be told, Steve, I was several years ago asked that question, and I happened to say, look, I can't think of anything better than doing Monday Night Football. Well, then I just by chance ran into somebody at the airport the next day who was a colleague from Augusta National. And then 2 days later, I ran into somebody from the NBA. And I go, well, I can't say one's better than the other. So at that point, I adopted something that any of us who are blessed to have multiple children know, and we say that I love them all the same in different ways. None more than the other, but you love them all. And I feel that way with the sports I cover. I love being a part of the NFL and have been now in the studio or doing Monday night or now part of the football night crew on Sundays for the better part of 20 years here. And it's great. But by the same token, I'll be just as excited when we cover the horse racing like we did the Breeders' Cup or next year the Triple Crown or the Olympic opportunity for the first time. That was as enjoyable as anything I've ever done. So I just try to stay in the moment. I hate that's a sports cliche, but why think about, well, this is the fourth favorite thing that I do. Just enjoy this for what it is, and luckily there are a lot more good assignments to follow.
Now, you said something earlier that was really interesting. You started talking about, you feel old when you're covering the kids of some of the athletes you once covered. Now, I've been at this 21 years. I've got a 4-year-old son. He puts on a sportscaster headset in the summer. I gave him 2 minutes at the end of my sports radio show, and here's the scary thing. He wasn't afraid. He was comfortable. He had a big smile on his face, and I'm thinking to myself, "Oh no!" I just couldn't. I can't imagine. He's 4, and all of a sudden, he's way too comfortable to be on a radio show. So, are your teenage kids the same way? Are they telling you, "Dad, listen, this is something we want to get into this business when we get out of school"?
Not yet. One of them shows a little bit of interest in writing and perhaps journalism. The other one doesn't, and that's fine. It's a great compliment whenever you follow in the family business. That means when you were around it, it's really good. Doing what I've done for so long, the one negative part, and you're not complaining about it, just the fact, it takes you away for so many holidays. Like this year, I'll be on the road for Thanksgiving and Christmas. I haven't been home for Christmas in 13, 14 years, but the nice part is, people around America are letting you into their home, which is the ultimate honor during the holidays. So it's a series of trade-offs. It's a series of balancing acts, but none of my crew has decided to pick up a microphone and finish off the radio show. So your guy may be ready to fill in there or be your co-host in a few years. So be careful.
I am absolutely right. We're talking to Mike Tirico right now here on Sports Talk as we continue. NFL. Let's shift it over now. We talked about how much you've been doing this, how much you love it, and around here in El Paso, especially yesterday, all the talk I'm getting every week is about the Dallas Cowboys. They've got the best record in the league, and the dynamic duo of Dak Prescott and Ezekiel Elliott, all they do is win football games. I mean, for them to play so well to where they're actually putting Jerry Jones in a position where he can't do anything but smile, celebrate, and enjoy the fun. That's what's so unreal about watching this run right now develop with these two incredible rookies.
But let's be honest, okay? The reason that Jerry's able to smile and just let these guys go, and the rookies have been terrific. Elliott's an outstanding running back. He's one of those difference-maker backs, which we didn't think we were going to see as many of in the NFL. Dak has been great with his poise, his growth within the season. Instead of throwing just inside the numbers, he's expanded the width of the field, using 50 yards across to get you 100 yards down it. It's been terrific to watch their growth. This goes back to Jerry's decisions to draft offensive linemen. Martin, Frederick, Tyron Smith, all the guys up front, that's the reason these rookies are playing so well. You know, you go throw them out there in Denver where their offensive line has been a rotating group of guys, and there's a lot of instability on offensive lines around the league. I know Ezekiel Elliott's a really good back. He wouldn't be this good. Todd Gurley's a really good back. He can't be a good back behind the Rams' offensive line right now. You could take a rookie quarterback who's of a better pedigree in terms of the draft, where he came out, and a first-round pick like Wentz or Goff or other years. Lynch from Memphis, Paxton Lynch is with Denver. They would not be as good right now in their current spots, but if you put them in Dallas, they'd be better because they have a running game and an offensive line, Hall of Fame tight end, good receivers. So the credit, in my opinion, goes to the decisions Jerry made before they got to the draft and took the guys that they've taken, not because these guys have come in and changed everything about the franchise.
How do you find a way to give Romo some game experience before the postseason and not at the same time ruin the momentum that this team has right now?
You clinch the division, you clinch the number one seed, or you go up 30-0, you get Tony some series. The one thing about Tony, he's a guy who can just hop back on the bike like he's been riding it for years. The formula can't change. You got to do the same things you're doing. I don't doubt for a second Tony Romo can do the things that Dak has been doing. The offense is a little more run-based, and Scott Linehan keeping that balance and not getting too pass-happy would be an important thing. But I don't have concerns about Tony. I think he'll see enough time in practice, and he's got so much life experience that I think he'd hop in there and do just fine. I really do. But who knows if you're going to need that? You want to have it as a safety cushion for the playoffs, but what if you keep going? You start looking at this, and I think there are some good games coming up here with Minnesota and Washington and the Giants. So it's not an easy schedule that Dallas has down the stretch here.
Very true. The game you were at on Sunday, New England, Seattle, unbelievable ending. And again, the Seahawks are they're flying under the radar a little bit, aren't they, Mike? Because with all the talk about the Cowboys, here's Seattle, 6-2 run. Russell Wilson is healthy. He's looking better and better under center. And, with all that postseason experience, Seattle's going to be right back where they usually are in January.
You would think if they stay healthy, Wilson is healthier the last 2 weeks, and he looks like a different player. And they look like a different offense. They look more dynamic. They're going to get Thomas Rawls, their running back, whether it's this week or next. C.J. Prosise, the rookie out of Notre Dame, looked very good. He adds to their receiving core as well. He was a receiver before he went to running back at Notre Dame. So Prosise is going to give him a different dimension of a running back. You can say, okay, we've got a two backs in the backfield there. Oh, and here goes Prosise out to line up a receiver. But he's been a really good receiver in his recent past, so he becomes more of a threat out there. You can't cover him with just a linebacker. They're going to have a lot of options to go to. I like what they're building. I would say Seattle and Dallas, no matter where the game is played, would be a pick-em game. I'd have a tough time saying which one would be the better team right now, if they played right now. But there's a lot of runway to go. I mean, Dak's been great. Zeke's been great. The O-line's been terrific. The defense keeps playing out of its mind with really no great pass rusher who can ruin the game. But we still have about 40% of the season to go. And as I mentioned, the games that are ahead, even Detroit in Week 16 on a Monday night after Christmas and then at Philadelphia to close, it's a tough schedule here for Dallas. Nothing has been decided. You're just in the conversation, and you're in a great chair to have the conversation if you're a Cowboy fan going into Week 11.
Before I wrap things up with you, Mike, I've heard a lot of national guys talking about ratings right now this season, that they're down, and they're trying to give an explanation what's happening with the NFL. Some believe it's oversaturation. I've heard other explanations. Any idea why you think that the numbers are down a little bit this year for the NFL?
Yeah, I think there's no one reason. I think they're all part of the equation. People unhappy with players protesting the national anthem. The oversaturation you talked about, all the Thursdays to go with Sundays, Sunday night, Monday night. Variety of things. Red Zone channel, able to watch the game on Twitter. You name it. There are a whole bunch of things. I also think the election. The election was huge because the ratings for cable TV were up significantly for the news channels during the election cycle. I think a big one was quality of play. I don't think the games were very good for the first 5-6 weeks. I think they got better the week before, and they were exceptional last week. The finish of Denver-New Orleans, the finish of Carolina-Kansas City, the terrific game that so many of your listeners watched start to finish with Dallas and Pittsburgh, the terrific game on Sunday night with Seattle and New England. Even the game last night, 21-20 Cincinnati loses to the Giants. Pretty good quality game. Scores right away. Game stayed tight. Good defensive plays. I think as the quality of play goes up and we've identified the good teams, you're going to see more people watching. But it's a cyclical thing. I don't think there's anything ever in the history of the world that continues to go up every year except the amount of money you pay in taxes. So I think this will be just fine for the league as we go down the line. For the ratings being down, it's still by far the highest watched thing. As a matter of fact, I think somebody said the regular season game with Pittsburgh and Dallas was outrated only by Game 7 of the World Series. So we're still in the middle of the regular season, and we're equaling something that was the best thing baseball's had on TV in a generation. So while it's not great, it's still fun.
Mike, terrific having you on here. I really enjoyed the time, and until the next time we talk, take care of yourself, have a happy holidays, and thanks again.
You as well, Steve. Thanks. Good to be on with you in El Paso. Be well.
You too. From Mike Tirico, right back to Sal Montes here in our Lubingo studios as we continue on a Twitter Tuesday. Still to come, Bernie Olivas and our Hyundai Sun Bowl watch. Your tweets, your phone calls, 880-5763 as Sports Talk continues right here on 600. It's ESPN El Paso.